Hey guys, I'm Bevlyn and welcome back to Dispersed. If this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by. I hope you subscribe and join the family. As promised in my last video, today is going to be the first interview. I'm going to apologize in advance because I will be looking at my phone for the questions and we're having the interview virtually, so my eyes might just not be looking at the camera sometimes because I'll be looking at her as well. Enough of the explanations, let's get into the interview.
When life becomes a trip, pack a bra, get a grip. So when the cup runneth over, the fam will get to sip.
As you can see, I did my face today because today we're being joined by the fashionpreneur and beauty guru Rumbi Chigama. Hi Rumbi.
Hi Bevlyn, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us today. We're just going to be hearing her journey and how she got to where she is. I mean, the last thing I know of Rumbi is us going into town looking for my pumps, and now all of a sudden she's a fashionpreneur. Do you want to tell us what you're doing and what you're planning on doing in the future and how you ended up in this career?
So, I have an honors degree in food science and technology, but as soon as I ventured into food science, I branched out fashion and modeling. So I moved to modeling for 2, 3 years, and then I decided I didn't just want to be known for being beautiful, so I decided to be an entrepreneur. That is when I became a fashionpreneur in etiquette and grooming until I started another company which mainly focuses on makeup and cosmetics and presentation for the corporate world as well as people.
So we all know that our parents' generation is more focused on education, getting a job in corporate world. What did your mom or your family say when you decided, I don't want to, you know, be a food scientist anymore. I want to get into fashion and beauty?
Okay, at first it was very difficult to stand my ground about my career change. So I pursued the whole degree program. I started being interested in fashion from a very young age, but I didn't actually have any exposure into the industry or know anything about modeling until I got to college, where I was a bit more relaxed and I could meet people. So it was during my first year, but because I had to impress my mom, impress the family, because I was already in university anyway. I just had to pursue that degree program, and was juggling both my fashion, my love for fashion, and this science degree program. But because I pursued it to the end until I got that degree, they kind of respected that I managed to juggle both of them at the same time.
So when you change careers, did you feel scared as to like what's going to happen to me, or is it going to work out, or yeah, how did that go for you?
Okay, so my assumption when I joined the fashion industry was I would get paid for looking good, just maybe everything would just be easy, get a pageant, win a pageant, have a big break, and all that. But then it's not exactly like that in the fashion industry. Because Zimbabwe has had a bad economy for a very long time now, it is it hits the companies quite hard, so they have to tighten their marketing budget. And supply are supposed to be in equilibrium for any product or service to be valued in a market. But then looking at the fashion industry, there are a lot of models, a lot of modeling agencies, whether the models are trained or untrained, and then the companies are tightening their budgets. So then it becomes a very, very competitive industry. At the same time, it's average pay. So my expectations were not really met in terms of financial growth in the modeling industry. But because I was prepared for it, I had to learn how to diversify my talent and not just focus on being a model, looking good. I had to use the networks that I created when I was starting from the bottom, because I really started from the bottom. I started modeling for upcoming fashion designers until I grew. I actually grew with most of them. That by the time they were big and recognized, they also recognized me as a model. So I grew with my networks, and I had to use those networks to broaden my capacity in terms of business and entrepreneurship, and not just focused on working out and looking good and being a model.
So, what are some of the other skills that you had to like grow for you to be able to grow with your brand, the brand that you were trying to create, the brand that you're trying to show to the world?
All right. The first time I started an etiquette and grooming company called the Fashion House, where I was training models. I was training models, teaching them to become entrepreneurs, because I had already noticed that there are a lot of models and many of them were still hanging on to that, waiting for that big break in an industry that is companies tightening their budgets and everything being squeezed, their payments being squeezed, but they are still holding on to that. So I was training models to become entrepreneurs and to use other talents to merge their talents so that they meet a lot of genres in the modeling industry. Um, from that, I wasn't really satisfied. So I became a national director for Embrace, one that scouts models and from Africa to the platform. I did that for a year. I was still not satisfied. So I moved on into creating a bigger company that is into presentation, cosmetics. We have a lot of cosmetics lines that are coming up. And we also do makeup tutorials, etiquette and deportment. So I merged all those things into forming a bigger company that is more impact.
So I understand you're in beauty and that you're a makeup artist, and we all know that there's a certain perception when it comes to like makeup, especially from our parents and some people in our generation. People be like, oh, she wears too much makeup, she must be, I don't know, like insecure or whatever. But we've seen makeup growing over the years, and we've seen how it just enhances beauty. It's not about, you know, insecurities and all those things. So now, considering the fact that your market is Zim and you have people with such perceptions, how do you then like convince people that, you know, makeup, if you want to be buying makeup, it's okay. If you want to be putting on makeup, it's also okay.
If we look at the Maslow hierarchy of needs, uh, self-actualization is at the top, right? People want to be the best of themselves. But for them to be like that, they have to have set all their other priorities. So because beauty and makeup have always been luxury, and there's always a market for luxury products. My clients mostly are people who are particular about their image. So I will not go around down looking for people who just want to convince people that makeup is okay, and the people I sell the makeup to and the people I do the makeup on actually know what they want. And it's a luxury, it's a luxury product, maybe a once in a while kind of service for them. So it's not really difficult. Then comes the corporate world. Right now, everyone in the corporate world is kind of concerned about building their brand or their image. And presentation and makeup play a huge role in building an image. So for most people in the corporate world, we've discovered the kind of makeup that they like. It's not as loud, not as it doesn't take away the whole natural beauty of the person. So that is we have had to categorize the makeup, one for the corporate way, for brand image, and for people who want to build their brands, for certain special events. So putting that segmentation in categories has helped in presenting to the clients, potential clients, exactly what we can offer to them.
So you just mentioned that makeup is a luxury good, and currently the economic situation in Zimbabwe is not like the best. So what are you doing? Are you dropping your prices? And how has that like impacted your business in general to accommodate the fact that the economy has changed and your service and your products that you sell, they are luxury goods? Yeah.
Well, we've had a bad economy for a very long time now. And makeup has always been a luxury from way back, but it's a valued luxury to most women who make up the biggest clientele base for makeup as well. We have had to diversify the business instead of doing everything the normal way, like just calling in people for makeup and then we do your makeup. We have had to teach people to do it themselves, making tutorials, whether physical or online tutorials, and we've had to sell DIY products instead of the more expensive products that they have to come in for every now and again. So diversifying the product range and services and everything just helped in evolving the business and to make it more sustainable.
So we are all aware that there's this whole pandemic and it's really disrupted everything, but you're always trying to like maintain business and to do what's best for your customers, to keep them healthy. What have you done? Because from my understanding, you do own a beauty salon and stuff like that. So what have you done to focus on health first before someone looks good? Like, are you healthy? What measures are you taking to, to adhere to the new health rules?
All right. In the beginning, I was also panicking that, especially in terms of pandemic, where the economy already is not that good, and then the pandemic as well. So people are more concerned about the their physiological needs and every other basic need before they consider makeup. And because of that, I've had to make the business evolve in terms of doing physical tutorials, movement tutorials, uh, just to survive within the pandemic. And then in terms of really, for some people who are just used to the makeup products, cosmetics, and who are particular about their skin, who are at the top of the hierarchy as well. If they had to tighten their budgets, they are likely not going to lose every part of their cosmetic range. They are likely going to take certain cosmetics that are essential for their daily skincare routine and things like that. So we did have a drop in some makeup products, but there are other makeup products were actually selling quite well because of this. Because now people are more concerned about how to take care of their skin instead of how to just put makeup on it. So cosmetics that are good for the skin, skincare products, and also DIY products have helped in the market as well.
Every industry that you get into, it always has challenges. It always has like its pros and cons, and particularly with the fashion industry, you always find that, you know, like men prey on young girls, and you find that people who are in the fashion industry are young girls. So are those things still happening? Like, what are still some of the challenges that people are facing in the fashion and beauty industry?
The biggest challenge in the modeling industry at the moment is competition, because there's a pool of models in a wide range of genres. So the only models who are likely to make it are ones that fit into the large group of genres in the modeling industry. So because of that, all the other models that are remaining have a burden upon themselves to be successful financially and maybe in terms of growth as well, which brings about the desperation that causes them to do other things that have nothing to do with modeling. But for models who are educated, they always have a plan or somewhere to fall back on. Like myself, when I realized that being a model is quite a stretch, it needs a lot of and it needs a lot of competitiveness and holding on even when you're not getting paid enough. So models do not have that patience. Most people in general do not have that patience to follow through. So I always stress on being educated and having another plan, either a business or a career or something else that you're doing aside to support your modeling career. Because at the beginning of it, you have to actually invest in it. So if you do not have anyone investing in you, or you don't have anything you are investing for yourself, then it's going to be very difficult to grow. And yes, there are a lot of men in this industry, either modeling agency coordinators, photographers, sponsors, who are ready to get whatever they want in exchange for exactly to give and sponsor girls in exchange for sexual favors. But then it comes back to the background of the model and their goals, their long-term and short-term goals, and just their principles. There are also principled models in the modeling industry. So some bit of tension. Sometimes from before you even join a modeling agency, that the kind of shows they're getting, the kind of people they are networking you with, the kind of sponsors expected to entertain. That this is just some form of underground. So it takes a model who has an open mind, who is quick to respond, and who is not afraid to live in, to protect themselves from such perpetrators. Yeah, and so it is very important for people to learn before they join the industry, to learn that you can say no. If you do not want something, you can say no, and it's out. A proper agency will actually protect you from people who want to take, but other agencies will put you on a frying pan.
The moment you decided to change your careers, did people's perceptions of you or like the respect that they gave you change simply because you're now in this industry that's a bit less more formal, and it has these perceptions and assumptions that for you to make it, you have to like sleep your way up. And yeah,
It has changed a lot because when you are in the formal sector, everything is a bit safe. No one is interested in your personal life or labels you for anything. But then if you are in this informal sector, especially one to do with beauty, and then you're also a single woman, yeah, there are a lot of people who would try to label you for that, for being single. That yeah, it's probably because maybe she's dating a married man or things like that. But yes, it did change. At first, people were thinking maybe I've gone wild, or when you then go back on the steps I've taken to get to where I am today, it wasn't just a straight jump from food science to fashion. I had to build a network from way below, and each year there's growth that came with each year, failures, growth, lessons, and all that have molded me to be where I am now. So it is a traceable journey. It's not a, a scenario where I just woke up and said, "Oh, hey, I now have a business and it's running." There are failures come with that business before I got to where I am today. But yeah, there are a lot of challenges and still face them even up to now. That when you become competitive, people don't want to accept you just hardworking. They want a reason for whatever. There has to be another reason that does not have anything.
so many young girls out there who are looking forward to getting into the industry and trying to make it. What's your advice on what they should do or what they shouldn't do for them to be able to have a good image, for them to be able to make it, and all those things?
For young people who want to join the modeling industry, uh, my first advice is put yourself first. Before you meet agencies, before you meet photographers, before you meet sponsors or promoters, whatever, there is you and there are your principles. So you meet people, people come and people go. So don't let anyone throw your principles for temporary just because you want to go or because you want to join an agency. Because 2, 3 years down the line, you probably won't be with the same agency that you started with, but you will still have yourself. So you have to do your own research and you have to set your boundaries as to what you can say yes to and what you can say no. Most people don't know this, but you can say no to doing bikini if you are not comfortable with it as a model. So yeah, so you have to do your research and have a fallback plan on or a source of income that helps you to invest in yourself, in your portfolio, so that you can apply for better jobs and not become a desperate model.
I think to just close off, we just want to know like, where do you see yourself? What are your plans for the future? And yeah.
I cannot talk about where I want to be without talking about the growth of my company, Cultured Class. So in the next years to come, maybe in 5 years to come, I see myself running the leading trusted brand in cosmetic supply, makeup, image building, and presentation company that is Cultured Class. So by the time I'm looking to ensure that it would have grown to that point where everyone knows about it, whether they can afford to be part of it or they can't.
Thank you for joining us, Rumbi. If you want to catch up with her, you can follow on Instagram and Facebook And if you also want to see any tutorials on makeup, you can also go to the YouTube channel Cultured Class. I'll leave the link below for everything. And maybe you might pop by and get, I don't know, a makeover or something. Well, that's it guys. Thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below and don't forget to subscribe and like. And on that note, I'll catch you next time. Bye.